In this video, I'm going to show you what services to sell with your email marketing agency and how to price them. And what I'm going to do is show you the traditional route, but I'm also going to show you a better route that will help you charge $6,000 to $12,000 upfront for your services. Now, if you're struggling to get email marketing clients or you can only find one-off project-based work, then this video is for you. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to minimize my face and we're going to jump into the video right now, okay? So you've got an email marketing agency, okay, or you sell email marketing services and you want to, frankly, make more money, okay? Well, what do? Well, the first model we're going to look at is the traditional way. So typically you have two ways of making money with a traditional email marketing agency. The first way is to close clients on a retainer basis where you bill them, say, $1,000 to $2,000 normally maximum per month for your services, or you engage with a client on a project basis only, okay? So in the case of projects, typically what you will expect and what the clients will expect is to pay a pretty low sum, like $500 or $1,000 one-off, and for that you're going to give them and deliver them a specific scope of work that will either be building out their flows, so that could be their basic flows or their advanced flows. I'm going to get my pen out here to make some highlights. It could be design templates, or it could be, say, migrating their account. Okay, so they might pay you as a technical expert to move their email marketing platform away from MailChimp and onto Klaviyo. All right, but typically what you'll find with project-based work is that it's less than optimal for you and your agency. Okay, project-based work, it doesn't give you projected consistent cash flow. Oftentimes it's very low ticket. Clients don't want to pay a lot. It can create a scenario where you get paid for a specific scope, but then the client picks out issues, they want amendments, whatever it might be, and you have to over-deliver work whilst not getting paid. All right, so you might be thinking, Otto, I know this. I don't like to do project-based work. I can take what I can get, but actually I like to have retainers, because naturally a retainer is where you can kind of have that consistent projected cash flow that can eradicate risk for you and your agency. It gives you that ongoing income, but typically there is a glass ceiling that we experience and what we've seen with all other agency owners in terms of how much they can actually charge. Okay, so typically the normal agency owner with the traditional offer will only be able to really bill $1,000 to $2,000 or $2,500 per month for their services. Now with retainers, what are the options you have? What can you sell? Okay, so the first one is account management. The second element of a retainer deal is going to be campaign management. And this is predominantly what makes up your ongoing scope that you will have with your clients. Okay, so you'll either be optimizing their accounts. It might be that you are responsible for making sure that their forms are all in order. You create new offers, new discounts. Maybe it's a 5% offer or a 10% discount or a Black Friday sale, whatever it might be. So with your account management, you're going to be updating their forms. You're going to be optimizing the forms. So does everything sync on the back end? Does the welcome series, for example, do the flows, the automations fire as they should be? This is all activities that you'll be managing if you are on a retainer with your client. Okay, list cleaning is another one, so suppressing profiles that aren't engaged, making sure also that deliverability is all fully optimized and that from a technical standpoint, the client is healthy. Okay, more scope items that you will be responsible for if you're getting paid a retainer and you're responsible for managing their account. Now, the other element of ongoing account management is flows. Okay, so maybe your clients already have flows set up. They've got their basic flows, welcome series, abandoned cart, browse abandonment, whatever it might be. But they've also got their advanced flows set up. Okay, so it might be flows that integrate with third-party softwares and service providers like Recharge for subscription billing or reviews.io for collecting UGC, whatever it might be. On a retainer basis, this is probably what you're going to include in your scope, okay? So when it comes to the flows, you're going to be responsible for creating flows that they might not have, continually optimizing the flows that they do, and then just making sure that all of these flows are updated, okay? Updating flows really falls into two categories. So the first is copy and the second is design. And the times that you're going to keep these flows updated or perform major updates is during key sale events in the e-commerce global calendar. Okay, so typically it will be Black Friday, it will be Christmas, so Christmas Eve and Boxing Day sales, and then it will be the January New Year sales too. Okay, so these are the typical three key big events in any brand's global e-com calendar that you will need to be delivering ongoing flow management with. Okay, so it all makes sense and that should all be clear so far. Now, when it comes to campaign management, what you will be offering your clients, so you can use all of these points I'm discussing now and talking about as scope items in your contracts with your clients. You're going to be responsible for three things, okay? The first is ideation. So you're actually going to have to come up with the strategy. You're going to come up with all the ideas. You're going to look at the global e-com calendar and think, in terms of campaigns, what should we be sending out? What are the different types of campaigns? Is it a brand builder? Is it a single product promo? Is it a multi-product promo? Is it a one-time discount? Is it a letter from the founder? Whatever it might be, that's going to be your responsibility as part of your ongoing monthly retainer, okay? So coming up with the ideas, building the strategy, and then developing the calendar, okay? Now, another integral part of campaign management is design, okay? So this is number 2. And within design, there's going to be 2 core elements of that service that you provide, okay? The first is graphic design. So you're actually going to create templates, or your graphic designer should be creating templates for the brand. And then also what your graphic designer is going to do is implement those and drop them into Klaviyo, okay? So maybe they're building responsive designs or HTML designs or dynamic designs, whatever it might be, but your graphic designers, and therefore you as an agency, are going to be responsible for uploading these into Klaviyo, okay? So you can start to see the picture I'm painting. It's a lot of work, and sometimes it can be quite difficult to actually really, with any sort of crystal-like clarity, define what you will be doing for that client, okay? And that all has implications on your profit margins and the amount of work that you are doing for the client. Now, the third element of campaign management is copywriting, okay? So again, you're going to be responsible for ideation. You're going to come up with the ideas. Maybe you're using ChatGPT. Maybe you're swiping content ideas from other brands that are similar to your client's brand. In any case, you're going to have to come up with the ideas. The brand will be paying you to do that, okay? The second element of copywriting is actually the writing itself. You're going to have to write the copy. You're going to have to go through amends with your clients. You're going to be responsible for all the CTAs. And then also, again, just like design, you're going to have to be responsible for implementing that copy into Klaviyo, okay? So when you are working on a retainer basis and you're responsible for campaign management, there's no you providing the copy and the client takes control of it and ownership of it, and they upload it. You're going to have to be uploading it yourself, all right? So when it comes to the traditional model, you've got a couple of options, but the main limitation of the traditional model when it comes to running and scaling your email marketing agency is that it's very difficult to scale a 6, 7, or even 8-figure business based off of low ticket retainers like this. Okay. Now, what we are finding is that every email agency that exists out there in the marketplace now have really become very much commoditized. Okay, and the only way that they can actually close clients is to compete on price, which is to say they have to lower their price and actually deliver more of this in order to win and retain clients. Okay, and what that basically leads to is a race to the bottom, where you end up getting paid less. So you get paid less. You have to do more work, and then ultimately the client's not happy, with what you've done, and they want to get rid of you. Okay, so your churn increases, retention lowers. All right, so it's not really a sustainable model, and there's a reason why we as an agency, we've been going for almost 6 years now, don't subscribe to this model, and there's a reason why we don't really have any competition in the marketplace. So what I'm going to do now is talk to you about an alternative model, and I'm going to change the color of my pen here so we can just really hammer home this differentiation. All right, so the model that I'm referring to here is a build and release model. Now, the key difference between a build and release model to the traditional model is that when it comes to a build and release model, you're really repositioning yourself in the marketplace, okay? You're leveraging the distrust that your prospective clients and brands out there have for marketing agencies. And you're saying very clearly to these brands, look, we are not a marketing agency. We're not going to get you on a retainer. We're not going to lock you into any rigid contracts. You're not going to have to or be obliged to continue paying us legally whilst we don't generate you results. What we are is a transformation specialist, or we have a proprietary infrastructure that if your brand was to implement it, you would be future-proofing your brand and you could take it, run with it, and you'd never have to pay us again a day in your life if you didn't so choose, okay? That's the utility and the real USP and selling point of a build and release model. Now, what this really means, and I've got a number of different videos on the channel, so go into my all of my videos, take a look at all the build and release offers that we've tested and use currently today in this marketplace. But what this fundamentally comes down to is that you're delivering and selling an infrastructure, okay? So in essence, all of this, when you collate it into one, becomes an infrastructure, okay? And once you do this once for a client, it's going to be a lot easier for you to replicate it, whether you have one client or whether you have 100, okay? And that's what we've been able to do with our agency. I'm going to explain how you can do it and how you can price it now in this video, right? So with an infrastructure, it's very important, okay? The client pays you upfront before you lift a finger for service delivery. In terms of the amounts that the client pay you, what they're ultimately going to be paying you for is a body of this work upfront, as opposed to stretching out that work over a 6 to 12 month time frame. Now, most agencies try to fill, or they buff out their scope of work and their contracts with their clients with a load of filler, where they say we'll do two flows this month, we'll do another 2 the next month, another 2 the next month. In reality, what those agencies could do if they actually leverage a model like this and have a pre-built infrastructure like we do, they can then apply that to any different brand in any niche or any vertical, okay? And that gives you economies of scale. It makes things a lot easier for you. It increases your project margins. It lowers your variable costs. It lowers your need to have a larger team. It eradicates the need to, every time you bring on a new client, you need to bring on new staff members. It means there's fewer fires to put out. It's all around just a much more enjoyable and efficient model. And all of those elements go into actually making this a much more scalable business model, okay? So key differentiation here is that you're creating a build, and that's what you're delivering to your client in the form of a proprietary infrastructure that you own, that you're ultimately licensing out to the client. In return, they pay you up front. You don't deliver that until they've paid you, cash collected in the bank. And the money that you will expect to charge for that is anywhere between $6,000 to $12,000 upfront on the front end. Now, you might be thinking, that's all well and good. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what's included in that build. But you might be thinking that's all well and good also. It's great that I can get paid up front, but isn't the benefit of a retainer model that you get that security of projected cash flow? And the answer is that the build and release model and actually delivering infrastructure for your clients gives you your cake where you can eat it. It gives you the best of both worlds, okay? So what you will find is basically from delivering this infrastructure up front for what is ultimately a pretty low fee for any brand, what you will be doing is front loading a huge amount of trust. You'll be proving and demonstrating to that client that you've done what you say you would have done. And that's where every agency fails. They over-deliver, they over-promise, they under-deliver and over-promise, and they hemorrhage trust, okay? So it becomes very difficult for them to cross-sell, upsell, or downsell any other services. But what we found, almost 99% of our clients that agree to an upfront build, we then close them on a monthly ongoing retainer, okay? And typically, because we've already set our perceived value and our price point this high, it becomes a lot easier to close the client on higher ticket retainers, okay? So whereas with the old school model, you're going from zero to then begging the client to pay you $1,000 or $2,000 per month, and you're struggling with scope creep and moving goalposts and trying to over deliver for that client for what's peanuts. With the build and release model, you get paid up front, which is an added benefit, but it's also a lot easier to close higher ticket clients on the back end, okay? Now we shoot for anywhere from around $5,000 upwards, okay? If you're just starting out with this model, it might be that you charge slightly less, but even on the lower end, you'll be able to charge a minimum of $2,000 and nothing less than that, okay? Now, the third element of how you can offer this this kind of infrastructure, pivotal kind of difference in the model is by getting paid through a performance bonus too. Okay, and like I said, I've got other videos on the channel that talk about how we do this, and we've got clients we've worked with who have implemented the same build that we do inside the EEA. I'll drop a link below. Who have even negotiated with their clients upwards to 50% of end of month revenue attributed to email and SMS. Okay, so anywhere between 5 to 25% is typical. Obviously, depending on the total MRR that your client brand is actually generating per month. Okay, you can have lower percentages if they're generating more, and vice versa. All right. So looping back to the build, and remember, this video is all about what to sell as an email marketing agency owner or a freelancer that's delivering email marketing as a service, and how can we price it. Okay. Now, when it comes to the build and release model, in order to charge fees like this, you're going to deliver a build that is broken down as such. Okay, and within that build, you have flows, you have campaigns, you have templates, and you have forms. Very simple, okay? You might be saying, Otto, that's great, looks awesome. What's the difference between the retainer model? Okay, I'm going to tell you the difference now. So the difference is with the flows, what you're going to do is basically have a boilerplate agreement, and you're going to build out the flows for the client. Now, every single client that you try and pitch your build and release offer to will be at a different stage of their brand genesis. Okay, and what that means is that they might have just launched their brand. They might be, a year in. They might be 10 years in. They might have one product. They might have 12 products. They might have hundreds of product SKUs. And what that basically is going to mean for you is that they're going to be coming from a different starting point when it comes to email. So some will have email already set up. Some might have email and SMS. Some might say they've got email, but then you get access to their Klaviyo account and they're sending one email blast a month or every 2 months or at Christmas or Black Friday, whatever it might be. Well, once you've got access to their account, you can start to paint a picture of actually what infrastructure they have in place, and then your infrastructure can fill the gaps, okay? So some of the best clients are the ones that are relatively new in their kind of business journey and in their brand sort of growth. Where you can come in and give them a full suite of builds, all right? Remember what I said, once you have the infrastructure, once you have all of these flows built out for one client or a handful of clients, you can then optimize and scale and systemize that infrastructure so that you can apply it to any different brand and any different vertical, which again is our USP as an agency. This is why I'm talking about this and nobody else online is talking about it, is because I am the only person that does this, all right? So the second element when it comes to delivering the build is campaigns. Now, when it comes to campaigns, here's what you're going to deliver specifically as part of your service, all right? You're going to provide a campaign calendar, so a content calendar, and within that, you're going to give 12 months of campaigns, okay? What that's going to include is send times, the copy, and then all of the design, all right? When it comes to copy, specifically, you're going to provide subject lines, you're going to give the body copy, and then naturally all of the CTAs, okay? So you're going to give the brand everything they need in order to plug and play campaigns into their Klaviyo account. Now, what this doesn't include is campaign management, and that's the beauty of what I'm going to talk about in a moment here, okay? So the third element of that upfront infrastructure build is templates. Now, these templates are going to be for flows, and they're also going to be for campaigns, which is why we've looped them, why I have looped them back here, okay? So design templates is what you're going to create. In the campaigns, you're also going to do design templates for campaigns, all right? So again, these tie into your flows. As part of your build, you're going to provide a number of different templates, probably upwards to about 20 different templates that will help cover them for their basic and their advanced flows, and also key sale months like Black Friday, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, and January sales, right? Now, the fourth element of the build is forms, okay? And specifically what you're going to provide them with is a selection of offers. It could be discounts or free delivery or free trials, whatever it might be. And then again, you're going to build out the designs for the forms into their ESP, into their Klaviyo account, okay? So looping back to the other side of delivering the build. So what do you do when you've actually delivered the build? The client paid you beforehand, you've got the cash collected into your bank account, you've either delivered it yourself or you've used that cash to pay a administrative virtual assistant or full stack Klaviyo implementer and not an expensive technical expert to actually deliver the build. Once you've delivered that, we deliver ours within 24 hours, it's time to cross-sell or downsell retainer services, okay? So with the build and release model specifically, your retainer services can include typically or will include 3 key offers. The first is going to be account management. So the clients will be so blown away by the value that you've been able to deliver within such a short period of time. Remember, what you're doing with a physical infrastructure build is basically doing what every single marketing agency owner out there is promising your brand, your client brand, but then would actually fail to deliver across a 7 to 12 month time frame. You're delivering it within 24 hours or 5 days or 7 days, whatever you feel comfortable with, depending on your level of experience. Again, we do it within 24 hours because we can. We've built that economy of scale over the last 6 years, okay? So from that, your client's going to be blown away. They're going to go, well, you didn't lie when you said you weren't an agency. I've never dealt with an agency like this. We're still paying our Facebook ads agency every month and they're not getting us results. We still pay our SEO agency. They're still not getting results. You've done what you said you were going to do and you've over-delivered. Now I've got everything I need. I can run it myself. But actually, I'm so blown away by the value you've created. I can see how much money this is going to generate for us. Can you just carry on managing our account? And you can go, yes, client, I absolutely can. That's no problem at all. Here's how we break down account management, okay? We can take over optimization, which means we'll basically just make sure that your flows are always running and functioning from a technical standpoint, okay? And potentially this could also include updates. So again, for those key sale months, when you update the flows and you change their templates to match their Christmas theme, whatever it might be, this is all the different services you can include in this ongoing account management service, okay? Now, the other element is support. So maybe that client just wants to check in with you bi-weekly. Maybe they want a direct Slack channel with you or a technical expert in your team. They want the ability to basically shoot questions to you that you answer in a relatively short period of time, and they pay you for doing that ongoing, okay? So this is something that you might downsell if they don't want ongoing account management. Maybe you just downsell a support channel, okay? It's another service that you can include in the build and release model. All right, and as part of optimization goes, you're also could be responsible for deliverability and kind of the technical optimization of their account, right? Again, just making sure that everything is running like it should be. Now, the second element of what you can cross-sell or downsell is campaign management. So as part of the build, you've given them their campaigns, everything they need in order to run the campaigns themselves, all the ideation, the strategy, the calendar. Just what you haven't done is scheduled those campaigns physically in Klaviyo for them. So naturally, they're going to say, love the campaigns, love the designs. Can you just go ahead and schedule all of those and manage them for me? And you can say, yes, client, I absolutely can. And it's going to cost, $3,000 per month for campaign management. All right. So that predominantly is going to include scheduling. Now, the third element of what you can cross-sell or downsell is basically ongoing design services. So they might say, look, we're absolutely blown away with your graphic design. We've got Black Friday coming up. What we would like, we're going to do the campaigns ourselves, but actually we'd just like some new templates. We want new templates every month. We want new templates for Christmas, whatever it might be. Again, you can say a big fat yes, we can do that. And you can put a price to it. Okay. So hopefully, guys, this video has helped simplify your options going forward. Okay, if you are struggling to sell your services as an email marketer and price those services, strip everything down to the basics. Okay, revert back to first principles thinking. This workflow here will help you reverse engineer what is actually valuable to your clients without you actually having to go out into the marketplace and waste 6 to 9 months interviewing clients and finding out the hard way. All right. So strip things back if you're struggling. If you're stuck on $500 one-off projects, switch over to the build and release model. And look, if you've got any value from this video, please consider subscribing. Again, it would mean the world to me. Drop me a comment below if you've got any questions at all about where you should go from here. And also, I'll drop a link below that will give you some information about our proprietary infrastructure that we build out for our clients that you can get your hands on too. Okay, so hopefully that's been of value, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, cheers.